duration of the meeting. Welcome to the October 18th, 2023 meeting of the Tampa Historic Streetcar Board of Directors. I'm Michael English, and I'm the President and Chair of the THS Board of Directors. The meeting format is hybrid. Quorum is not yet physically present at Hart Administrative Offices at 1201 East 7th Avenue boardroom. However, we're going to open the meeting as a workshop until and if one more member comes in person. So I'd like to have a call to order. Roll call, please.
President English.
Present.
Director Ahern. Director Hardy.
Present.
Director Maniscalco.
Here.
Thank you. Director Mechanic.
Here.
Director Schisler.
Present.
Director Williams. You do not have a physical quorum, sir.
We do not. Correct. So would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
The United States of
to the
America,
republic
to
for
the
which it stands,
republic,
one nation, under God,
one nation, God, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Item 2 in our agenda is public input. Is there anyone here who would like to speak? No one is registered, so we'll move to item number 3. The election of secretary treasurer will have to wait for a quorum. Approval of minutes, we can't do that. Item number 5 is an action item, ratification of an insurance policy or liability policy. Marketing and services report, Mr. Wazinski.
Good afternoon, President English, Board, Mr. Drainville, Frank Wazinski, Manager of Marketing and Communications for Hart. Not much to report in terms of our marketing this month, aside from the usual. Streetcar Live did return in September, and we promoted streetcar service to a number of events, including Beats on the Street and Water Street, World Car Free Day, Tampa Lightning kicked back off. We did get a bunch of media coverage in September related to the streetcar remaining fare-free, and we did send out a release regarding that. So that's a bunch of different coverage from Fox 13, Tampa Times, Tampa Business Journal, etc. The big thing to talk about for this month is on the advertising side. We did, with TJH, we did come to an agreement in terms of the naming rights or the naming of Dick Greco Station. And so we're looking at Dick Greco Plaza Station powered by TGH. So we keep the regular part of that name.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
And so, yeah, and so the name will basically stay the same. We're just going to add the powered by at the end of that. And all of our materials include the maps, signage at the station will reflect TGH, and the station's currently fully wrapped. Another note regarding that, we're also, it's not a done deal yet, but Vector Media's had a couple meetings with Hatrix. They're interested in the naming rights of station number 11, and so they've been sent a contract, and they're very confident that they're going to be able to get that done, which would be a 5-year deal, hopefully.
Is that the station at Fort Brooke?
Downtown Tampa Station would be Hatrix.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's great to see that we're starting to, like I mentioned a couple of the past board meetings, that we're looking to go beyond just the streetcars. We're looking to build the revenue on the other side, and you're looking at already, if this comes through, a couple $100,000 in just, a few months, So we're also, on top of that, we're also looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning are currently just went up at Central Ybor Station. The Tampa Bay Rays are advertising in Emily Arena Station. Those aren't naming rights. They're simply, wraps on the stations. And then we're also welcoming ReliaQuest. So you can see the focus has been on getting local businesses to get community partners and things like that to move away from, cigars and things like that. We're trying to focus on more businesses along the line, different community organizations like the Larry Park Zoo and the aquarium and things like that. To that point, we are, Lori is working with the Downtown Partnership on the collateral, the advertising wrap for the Winterville Express.
Excellent.
So that'll be coming up. We'll have more to share next month. And then the other thing that we have is Villain Arts, which is an event at the convention center that's going to be coming on board the Streetcar as well for a couple months. And then finally, we went through an RFP process with our advertising on the bus side, and it also includes Streetcar as well. I just wanted to give an update in the sense of, to that point of restricting and getting away from beer and things like that on the cars and to more community-based stuff. That, we did put in that RFP that would restrict the total number of cars with alcohol advertising to 4. Currently, it's unrestricted, so we've had some restriction in that regard. And then it would only be one company per that could do so. And then as another thing that's changed with the new contract is that we also are leaving one car unwrapped for marketing purposes. Visit Tampa Bay wants to do something. Currently that's not the case. So we, we're going to protect the brand and that. That's all I had for this month. I'm here to answer any questions.
It sounds like a lot. It's pretty impressive.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Ms. Williams. We now have a quorum. Thank you. So let's move back to item number 3, election of Secretary Treasurer. With Director Johnson leaving the Hart Board, which I was not aware of, he will no longer serve on our board, therefore vacating the Secretary Treasurer office position. Mr. Smoker, you are recognized to guide the board to the election of a new Secretary Treasurer.
Yes, the first thing to do is open the floor for nominations.
The floor is open for nominations. Would someone like to make a nomination?
I'll nominate myself for the secretary.
Make yourself the secretary? That would be great.
Thanks.
So we have a second? Yes. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Aye.
It's great.
Aye.
Okay. Item number 4, approval of minutes, the next, from September 8th, 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and second. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Okay, our agenda item number 5 is an action item, ratification of insurance. The timing required me to simply sign the forms and take that responsibility. We have Grant Mielek here with us. Mr. Mielek, would you mind giving us a summary of what happened and what the policy is about and what it costs?
Thank you. As Director English said, when we, 2 years ago, we went ahead and renewed a policy. We moved from PREA to Chubb for savings of about 300, and it's about 313%. This year's renewal came in at 5479.36. While it was an increase, it wasn't something, we didn't lose any coverage, and it was not a bad thing. The packet that you do have and what you just sent, I just kind of wanted to give the board of directors a breakdown of when you guys were currently with PREA and now that we are with Chubb. As you can see, it's a pretty remarkable difference in cost. If you do recall, how this really came about is every year since we've insured, the streetcar and the liability, I've always been asked to take a look at the PREA policy. For the first few years, it just didn't make sense for THS to move from PREA, because at that time, PREA was giving a good amount of coverage, a lot of coverage actually, for the premiums. Starting around 2017, that abruptly changed. Director Smoker asked me to review the terms. And really what I kind of noticed is the program was expanding in cost, but they were also basically ripping apart the policy and removing vital coverage. So that's when we really started to take a look at everything. And last year, we were able to put together basically a public entity liability policy of $1 million with no deductible. That also includes a $250,000 crisis management and basically a lot of other bells and whistles. So what you have here today is just kind of the breakdown, and if anyone were to ask and say, is the THS board doing everything financially responsible, you can just show them this.
Looks like a good policy, and you've certainly saved us some money in the past few years. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? May I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
A
We
motion
have a
to,
motion and a second.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. While you're here, give us an update on the CSX insurance, please.
Will do. So obviously, last year, it was a little chaotic. As we all know, the property market here in Florida, or basically all of the commercial general liability, commercial and personal markets here in Florida has kind of been difficult for the state and difficult for everybody. That said, I've been in negotiations, our firm, with CSX, and I do believe that there is a deal to be made on the table. They're also feeling the hurt and the pain too from this horrible market that we're in. But with my discussions and the relationship that we've built with the, basically the risk manager, I do believe there's a deal on the table that the board should allow me and possibly somebody with the city to go ahead and try to finalize it.
We're running out of time, of course. It's October. This isn't it a drag. So if you want anyone from Hart or from the city to accompany you, and you need any assistance organizing that, please let me know or Mr. Drainville.
Sure. And to give you, more of an update, we did start marketing this a month ago. Obviously, because of last year, everything just came down to the wire, and I promise you that would never happen again. It was embarrassing, I think. But anyways, that will never happen again. Basically, we hope to have the final proposal to you in January.
I beg your pardon, say that again?
We're going to have the final proposal to you in January.
Well, it was late last year, and I would really like the final proposal in December, if it's possible.
It's possible, we don't want to give away any leverage.
I understand,
But
but,
if-
that caught up with us last year, so,
Correct.
and we're really hoping for $500,000 or less this year.
It's going to be a completely new program, and you guys are going to be very pleased.
Good. Any other questions of Mr. Mealy? Thank you for the update. I appreciate your help.
Thank you, Board.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
We just improved, did we approve that insurance? Yes. Yes. We've had the marketing report, streetcar performance report. Mr. Allen?
Good afternoon, President English, members of the board, Mr. Drainville. For September, we delivered 99.05% of the 4,328 scheduled trips with 41 missed trips. The 41 missed trips were caused by a shortage of operators, which was 18 and a quarter trips, mechanical issues at 17 trips, and some accidents, which I'll get into, which were 5 and 3/4 trips. We had 40 reported late departures. On-time performance was 99.07 for the month. Both accidents occurred on September 25th, one in the morning where a car ran the stop sign at Channelside and 2nd Avenue and was struck by the streetcar. The second one was in the evening at York Street and Channelside when a car ran a red light and was struck by the streetcar. There were no injuries in either accident, and in both cases, the drivers were cited by Tampa police. For September, ridership was 90,385 passengers. Of that, 111 were ADA boardings. This brought our FY 2023 ridership total to 1,315,103 riders.
Amazing.
And the system change I wanted to bring to your attention is that on September 17th, we received the waiver renewal from the FRA for us to cross the CSX interlock. That renewal is good for 5 years, so it won't expire until 2028.
Good.
Does anybody have any questions for me?
Is 41 Miss, oh, go ahead, Dave.
I'm sorry, I was just clearing my throat. Apologize.
Anyone else have questions? I was just curious, is 41 missed trips relatively a lot?
No, it's trending down.
Good.
So we're definitely coming out of the operator shortage.
Well, we all understand how much stress is on you all to move 1,000,003 people, and we really appreciate it, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Legal and legislative reports, Mr. Smoker.
President English and members of the board, I have nothing to report.
Good report, thank you.
Welcome.
Chair's report. I really have nothing to report either. Mr. Drainville.
I'll have a report. So it's not new news, but I would definitely want to thank Secretary Gwynn and Administrator Mingow for their continued support to fund the free fares this year. This will be the last year that FDOT does fund this, though. Regarding FDOT officials were on site last week for a 3-day safety oversight. Their main concern was during the visit, just a more consistent reporting by the operations control and the supervisors to FDOT and FTA when there's an accident on the streetcar line. The group also assisted the safety and security team with preparing an updated threat and vulnerability assessment, which hasn't been conducted since 2014. Regarding channel side improvement project, a long-awaited part of the project started this week. Crews started installing the fence that will separate the sidewalk from the streetcar tracks. This fence will run from the Florida Aquarium up to Station 5 and really improve safety and lower our risk in this area. Yesterday, I did travel to Tallahassee to meet with members of the legislative delegation and staff from the Senate President's Office to discuss HART's funding challenges and seek their support for HART during the budget development in the upcoming legislative session. Those meetings were very, very positive. So. And then tomorrow, the annual DTH Board representatives and HART staff present an annual streetcar report to the City of Tampa Council. We are scheduled to appear before the members of Council tomorrow. President English will also be attending that. And that concludes my report.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question for Mr. Drainville. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You and I talked about this briefly, but I think you just mentioned that it's clear that the DOT will not continue the grant that allows us to operate the streetcar fare free next year. We'll be on our own at that point. I think you also mentioned to me that there are a number of steps that we need to be taking between now and next year to get ready for collection of fares and so forth. Could you go over that for the board, please?
Absolutely. So there's a few avenues we could do. Staff's gonna start conversations with the City of Tampa to see if they can get allocated funding or find some funding to keep those fares free. I'll be also speaking with the CRAs to see what their contributions could be. And then on the hard side, if all last resort, we do have Flamingo fares already on each of the streetcars, and when we'll be implementing, we'd have to do a cost equity analysis. It's not just like, we can't just pick a fare like $1. We have to be in compliance. So we would have to do a cost equity analysis and figure what those fares would be. But we would capitalize on the implementation of our Flamingo fares.
Okay, so how long does that analysis take? When would you have to start that in order to be ready for next year?
Well, staff's already looking into that. It shouldn't take more than a few months, so we should be ready in that, if that's the case.
Okay. Yeah, my only concern and interest here is to make the transition to whatever we wind up with next year as painless as we can make it. I mean, we've got a lot of riders who are going to be inconvenienced, if that's probably a euphemism for saying they may wind up paying. But we just need to know what the implications are and do our best to make it as painless as possible.
Absolutely, and that's the directive to staff to make sure we communicate months in advance so the patrons know what avenue we're going down.
Sure, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Scott? Yes, please.
It's good that you're doing that now. It might be helpful in talks with the CRA to have the fair ready, just because they have a lot of the CAC boards and all that other stuff on there. So they'll probably be wanting to know what the fair will be. So
Okay.
Did you just say talk to the CRAs now?
I said yes, but I said it would be good to have the fair, what the fair would be ready to know, like known.
If we have to do it.
If we have to talk to the CRAs now.
You know, the new Dash service, most of you have heard of it, is charging a $2 fee, and it's an app. I don't know if that's a solution for the streetcar system, if we have to go there, but you might want to look into what they're doing.
And-
I know you all have been cooperating
Right.
with them a lot, so. Okay, thank you. Compliance reports are in your packet. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Hearing none, this concludes the regular business for today. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
That was easy. What are you gonna do?
We don't see you anymore this week, right? Next week?
No, God, no, that's it for this